You're still watching TVC Breakfast. We now talk about this very, very important conversation that is on the lips of every Nigerian. Now, the United States has called on the Nigerian government to intensify efforts to safeguard Christian communities following the abduction of 177 worshippers in Kaduna State. Now, the call by the U.S. was made during a high-level United States-Nigeria working group meeting in Abuja, where the U.S. Secretary for Political Affairs, Alison Hooker, stated that recent incidents have shown that Nigeria must do more to ensure the safety of Christians and their right to freely practice their faith while acknowledging progress recorded in recent months. Hooker warned that persistent attacks on religious communities undermine security gains and public confidence. Responding, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, acknowledged the scale of the security challenge and said the federal government is intensifying military and law enforcement operations in affected areas. We're going to be having this conversation with, I'll start with Mr. Shomi. Our guest will join us shortly. But Mr. Shomi, let's just quickly begin on this very important conversation. When we talk about this Kaduna, this is not the first time we're seeing mass abductions in Kaduna. We talk about Afaka school kidnapping, that was in March 2021. We talk about Greenfield University abduction, that was in April 2021. In 2024, we saw the Kugara kidnapping, that was in 2024. And now, January 18, we're seeing what happened in Kumewali, a very sad one. You know, we've seen mothers that have lost their children. We spoke about a mother that escaped. It's a sad one to see that people cannot go to church and just worship God freely. Now it has created a lot of fear and tension where people in Kaduna will tell you that I do not want to go to church because I don't know what will happen. Some of the citizens there have complained that they live in fear. They cannot cry anymore. Although we know that Ubasani, the governor of Kaduna State, had gone there, you know, to speak with them, sympathize with them and just tell them that the government is doing something. But we want to speak about the fact that in this same Kaduna, that this has been happening over and over again. Are we being proactive or reactive? What are we really doing?
It's quite unfortunate that we're in this situation, particularly the Ubasani government. If you go back into history, Kaduna State used to have a governor who openly admitted on national television that he actually paid some bandits outside the country or some terrorists not to come and carry out reprisal attack within Kaduna State. I mean, nothing happened to that former governor, who today is portraying himself as one of the saviors, one of the people to save Nigeria. And they are the same people pointing accusing fingers, saying, look, we have problems with Christians being killed, appearing to be on the side of the Christians. But that's not the case. What is going on in Kaduna is very sad. We've seen this governor, Ubasani, you know, trying to deal with the situation. He's been able to breach the gap between the southern Kaduna and the northern Kaduna one way or the other after the last election. There seems to be, you know, growing confidence in the ability of that governor. But again, don't forget, terrorists are terrorists. They would lie, you know, they would latch on anything just to create problems, you know, for any government in power. This attack on Christians, at times they're doing it simply because they want, you know, they are interested in splitting the country. They wanted the country to collapse one way or the other. Their own goal is to create, you know, a country where there's no Western education. So for them, you know, Christianity represents Western education. So one way or the other, they keep embarking on that. But the truth of the matter is, when you look at the Nigeria, generally speaking, you will realize that we do not have a religious war in Nigeria. We have terrorists trying to exploit religion to further their own agenda. But it's not simply because we have, you know, crisis between the Christians and Muslims in Nigeria. That is not the general feel in the country.
Exactly. So we have a security consultant and public affairs analyst, Mr. Darlington Umuru. He's joined us in the studio for this very important conversation. It's always a pleasure to have you in the house. And for me, I'll say that it's saddening because whenever we have you, we're talking about cases whereby something really, really drastic and dangerous has happened. You know, just before you came on, we were speaking about this with Mr. Shomi. We saw what happened in Kaduna. We saw that the police was first trying to deny it. Then later they came out and said, oh, something really happened. As at this morning, a mother is crying, a mother that escaped, you know, that, you know, her 2-month-old child has, you know, been taken away from her. Died, actually. Let me just, you know, go to and speak it as it is. It's sad, Mr. Darlington, with what we're saying. And now the U.S. is coming and saying that Christians are not safe again. But oftentimes we'll say, is it just Christians that are not safe or Nigerians that are not safe? Mr. Darlington, I want you to unpack this for me. the governor of Kaduna State, Ubasani, is he really pulling his weight in terms of this insecurity? Because it's one too many times.
You have asked too many questions in one. And in most times when you jam questions like this for me, my brain begins to vibrate.
I'm sorry.
Particularly, I haven't gone through the kind of hectic traffic I just survived now. Two things. First, the terrorists, are they actually after Christians? The answer is apparently no, a capital N-O. Ubasani, is he doing enough? The matter is not within the purview of Ubasani. Security architecture is constitutionally controlled by the center, the executive at the center, not the state. The state can only lend support. The military would not report to Ubasani. The police will not report to Ubasani. And none of the intelligence agencies will report to Ubasani.
I know, but as a governor, they look up to him because he's the governor, he's the head of the state.
He's called the number one, the chief security officer of the state. But that does not mean that the security architecture lies on his laps. Let's understand it, please. He can only work with them, but they are not answerable to him. Even the United States, Trump has come up to say that Christians alone are not the target of the terrorists, that even Muslims are also targets of the terrorists. We don't have enough time. I would have taken us through the history of how terrorism started and who suffered the most in terms of religion. When we permit my choice of word, regionalize, take this thing to religion, this terrorists we are facing in Nigeria, then we are sectionalizing it, and then we are reducing it. So some of us, pardon me, some of us in this part of the country are politicizing everything, and then we are dragging religion into it also, beyond politicizing what we are passing through. Nigeria is at war. Not a particular religion, not the traditional religionists, not the Christians, not the Muslims. All of us are at war. We are at the mercy of terrorists. We need help. If using Christians as targets, it's a way of demanding for support, it is welcomed. If it's a propaganda, it is welcome. If it is what will draw help to us, to help us fight terrorism, it is welcome. The shameful thing, as far as I'm concerned, is that we keep trying to serve as big brother on this continent. But now we have our challenges. We do not see support. We are not getting support from our neighboring brothers, countries. Where is ECOWAS? Where is EU? Why America? It happened in Benin, a coup d'etat. We were there to help Republic of Benin. Where are the military forces from Republic of Benin helping Nigeria to fight insecurity? If we do not have the capacity. Less than 12 Tomahawk missiles were used from the Gulf of Guinea to hit the enclave in Sokoto. We saw one that was not detonated, and people were rolling it and playing with it. The same experience we suffered after the Civil War, where bombs that were dropped that did not detonate eventually ended up harming people. Where do we go from here? Is the problem of Ubasani? It's not. The Nigerian police, in most times, they disappoint me. And I'll say it here without fear or favor. If an incident broke and you're yet to get the full report concerning that incident, say it the way it is. Do not deny it.
In their defense, they said they didn't want to cause panic and fear.
I'm glad you said in their defense. Security agency as the Nigerian police, that on its shoulder lies the ability to handle local security. Matter comes up, you are in a hurry because the press is demanding you to confirm or verify an incident that took place. And the best you will hurriedly do in your public relations department is to say it didn't happen. No. You have to be diplomatic. Get those who know it to serve in that department. Because every information that is let out is taken very seriously. We are talking about what America is saying now concerning the abduction in Kaduna. We are saying America, but yet it was not Trump. It was a representative, the Undersecretary of Politics.
Yeah. Mr. Amaru, you know, I know that it's always very difficult.
I don't know why people call me Mr. Amaru. It's like from your villages, you don't have traditional chiefs.
Apologies. Probably because I didn't see the beads in your...
But I'm used to you. You are my brother now.
So you know, talking about this challenge, you know, it's often painful when we have in the studio, you know, take us back memory lane and all of that. And then you also refer to the dangerous narrative about oversimplification of what is happening in Nigeria by saying that it's Christian genocide. We know that the terrorists, they want publicity and they get it freely.
Very freely.
And
God bless you.
When they strike, we talk about it. All media is agog, you know, talking about it. Do you not feel that this narrative of Christian genocide has further intensified their plans or their evil, sinister attacks?
Has boosted them.
But even though we had similar attack in Katsina, where they attacked mosque in Christmas Eve, you know, killing over 51 Muslim worshippers, but the news wasn't, you know, really as high as we used to take in that of churches being attacked. Do you not feel that what is happening here is some sort of, is it false flag? Like the US maybe one way or the other is fueling this, if not actively, but with their narrative to ensure that to justify whatever they want to do with Nigeria at the end of the day.
That of US, no. But I forgive me, please. In my language, we say, "Ofenoyowa logwe onoyoge eseoyo."
What language is that? I've always taught you Yoruba. But now it looks like you're speaking
Ofenoyoge. Ofenoyowa logwe onoyoge eseoyo.
That Kogi, if I'm correct.
I'm a proud Auchi man.
Interesting.
He says, that parable says, the rat in the house is the one that invites the one outside to say there's fish in the pot, come. The problem we are having, sir, it's not what is being projected from America. It is you and I. We are the ones writing to say, come save us.
No, well, we went there. We know that the PDP chairman, you know, at the point was shouting, Trump, come and save Nigeria. We know that this...
No, that's even politics. That's even politics.
So
religion.
Right.
We are talking about religion and Christianity. Number one, there are some of us who want to secede. We are looking for every opportunity where there will be disunity. And so we send out dangerous information to the outside world to say, oh, some of us are not safe. Please. You remember the Tucanos? When the Nigerian government applied to buy Tucanos from America, the same America, Not under the Trump regime, under the democratic regime.
Under Obama.
They say no, they will not sell to us. Why? Because the moment some people heard that the Nigerian military were going after those Super Tucanos, they raised alarm, first alarm. And then they wrote to America, they are targeting us. It's we they want to use the Super Tucanos to kill, not the terrorists. What did America do? Obama refused to sell. It's the Republicans that sold to you. Even when they now sold to you, under some conditionalities. They told you specifically, you bought with your money. They didn't dash you, Oga. We bought the 12 Super Tucanos they gave us in batches. 6 first and 6 later. But yet, with some conditionalities. And then with reduced ammo to operate the Super Tucanos. Why? Your people wrote to condemn the purchase of those Super Tucanos that were meant to target the terrorists. Now you were told how to use them, when not to use them. That has placed limitation on what you spend so much to purchase. These are some of the problems. The problem of religion. Many wrote. America is not Trump is not a spirit. Trump is depending on intel and submitted to him by the agencies.
That's right.
And where would the agencies get those information from? The agencies got information from petitions written by you, your people. When I say you, your people, wrote to America. If Muslims had written that they were target, America will also respond. What is the role of America today? America is in so many countries, and there's a danger in that. But that of Nigeria is positive because we need help. We need help because terrorism has been politicized, and fighting terrorism in Nigeria has been politicized. And so sometimes it's not as if you do not have the men. Agree that you may not have the kind of equipment America like the Tomahawk to be fired from the Gulf of Guinea, precision to hit targets. But you have men.
That's right.
Who can handle and do all of this for you. But what is the position? They are giving instructions.
Because of our time, Mr. Show,
you've made a very important submission here, particularly in relation to the role of we Nigerians, in the whole Buhari over this Christian-Muslim narrative, which the Americans seems to be helping us on. Now, within the context of America's first policy, do you think that the Nigeria's role in terms of joining the BRIC as a partner nation has something to do with this, bearing in mind that the moment we try to diversify the sources of our obtaining weapons, we've been getting Augusta, helicopters, we're getting things from Turkey, from China, and all that. And then those platforms became a problem, and then suddenly the Americans came up with this. And given our partner nation status, given the fact that we've also embraced the issue of currency, national currency trading, rather than the dollar, could it be that the Americans are also, or is part of the problem, why the Americans seems to be interested to get us to toe the line rather than doing what we are doing currently, to have an independent foreign policy? Could it be that the Americans are trying to push this agenda through their first America's
America First policy?
Yes. By latching on to this issue.
That's right.
Well, you see, you have raised a very fundamental issue. There are policies and that America would always want to defend. America would defend the dollar to the latter. BRICS does not support the dollar. It's a threat to the dollar ruling the world. America is trying to rule the world with the dollar. And Asia is apparently not in support of that. Severally, the IMF has asked China to increase the value of the yen. And they have said no because of the purchasing power. The export that the reason they gave was that it was going to affect their export. Don't forget that even the Chinese products are so much in America, but the value is what is different from what you have in some African countries. Again, cost by the Africans. I have some suits I bought from the US that are made in China. You see it boldly, made in China, but they are superior suits because America will always check the value of the products. And in most times they will tell you, cite the company, the factory in America. And that's why you have American spec in all of those things. America will protect the dollar to any extent, even using the IMF. That's for the BRICS. America has never supported BRICS because it will not favor her.
Yeah.
So the policy would not. Nigeria is the bride of both Asia, Europe, and America. Of course, go back to read what was it called, that book, Struggle for America in Africa. It's not struggle exactly, but I'll remember.
Is it How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney?
No, not how. This one is how countries are invading Africa because the scramble.
No, the scramble for Africa. The scramble for Africa.
Yeah.
That's right.
You see, if you study that, Nigeria has virtually all the resources any country in Europe or America would desire. They are in Africa. The deposits are in Africa. But they pauperize you to ensuring that you do not manufacture them. Because if you manufacture them, you become an export country. So they bring war. They bring political problems. And they bring stooges to disrupt.
But not to cut
this one, you're raising one finger.
No,
Allow me.
our time will not permit us. But there's this
minutes.
very important conversation where sources are saying that the abductors are demanding the return of 17 motorcycles valued at 28.9 million, allegedly seized during the recent military operations as a condition for releasing the victims. And we're asking the question, what sort of audacity is this?
Hogwash. But of course, one of the things I have said on this table is that one of the ways we could end terrorism, cut their logistics. I've said I won't be giving
on TV.
All of this, cut the logistics. If they have motorcycles, they do not have petrol to power them. They are useless. They can't move. You can't pour urine. They can't. How do you say it? They cannot source for those things if you target cutting it off.
You need to stifle their energy.
The Operation Wild Wind, put up by both ONSA and the customs, has not really hit the target. Now, if you target cutting off petroleum products with which they power their equipment to areas where they go to heat, you have reduced terrorism by 50%. But have we been able to achieve that?
Well, how do you do that? There are communities, around there who also collaborate with them. Supplying them bread,
There are even communities that have been conscripted. We even have moles. We even have dealers. Who make a lot of money. Don't forget that in every war situation, there are people who profit from it.
Of course.
Who make a lot of money. These people are spending dollars. In most times, we've seen situations where they were arrested or where they were invaded and dollars, hard currencies were found. UAE told you about how hard currencies were forwarded to some of these people.
By some bureau de change.
So there are even Nigerians who are making huge monies from this war. And there are also the influence of other countries. Some who want to sell equipment. And then some who want to get rich. And then some Nigerians who want to get rich.
It's quite a sad one.
And so it's the bigger challenge is intel. If you got your intel right, you do lead. If you got your intel right, you
I wish we
lead.
could continue. Hi, Chief Darlington Umoro. I wish we could continue this conversation, but our time will not permit us. But so far, you have said a lot, and I think that
finally,
it's a fine place.
His question, I didn't answer it before you cut me off.
Okay.
Nigeria's interest in all of those bodies you mentioned is also an attraction to the US. China needs Nigeria. US needs Nigeria the most. And now there's that scrabble that has returned. And so who comes to take over? That's why the Chinese people are also talking, because they have invested so much in Africa.
Yeah.
And so their wealth, the money they have invested in Africa cannot be allowed to go. And
we should have
They scramble for Nigeria.
For many hours, because he just always has a lot to tell us. Thank you so much for your insights. Hi, Chief. Thank you so much. After the break, we will focus on the political tension in Rivers State as the court adjourns Governor Fubara's impeachment indefinitely. Stay with us. We'll be right back.